What's up, guys? Salvador Brigman here with the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast, the crowdcrux.com blog, and the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. If it's your first time tuning in, usually I'll talk about crowdfunding, how to raise money for new products on Kickstarter and other websites. And specifically on today's video, I want to discuss 3 major misconceptions that a lot of people have about Kickstarter. And these are misconceptions from having emailed my readers, from having talked with many of the listeners on my podcast, and also just in general, like in the major media misconceptions. The first misconception is that Kickstarter is free money, or that Kickstarter campaigns are really easy to launch. I can't tell you the number of people that have emailed me and said like, hey Sal, I launched my campaign and for some reason, like, nothing's happening. Like, I'm not getting any pledges, there aren't any backers, like it's day 4 and no one's pledged. Like, what am I supposed to do? That's because I think so many entrepreneurs and also so many creative types look at these $1,000, $100,000, and 7-figure Kickstarter campaigns and they think, wow, like this guy raised $2 million for this? Like, obviously I could too. Or like, hey, this person raised $50,000 to make this book. Like, wow, I guess this is like free money. I guess it's like a whole new crowdfunding craze. This is something that's happening nowadays. People are just handing over money online. Not true. A lot of these campaigns that you see that have raised usually over $25,000 are carefully planned. There is a plan from pre-launch to how they're getting the word out to how are they increasing pledges once they hit their goal. There is a specific plan that goes into launching that campaign. It's not just like out of the air, like, yeah, let's launch a Kickstarter campaign next week. Like, hey, we raised all this money. It's not like that. There is a structured plan specifically on the marketing front of how they're gonna get the word out about that campaign. So that is mistake and misconception number 1. Don't make that mistake. Don't be the person that emails me or comments on my video being like, hey, it's day 4, nothing happened, why is that? Actually plan your Kickstarter campaign. The second mistake that I'd like to mention is actually something that I still think many entrepreneurs conduct or many entrepreneurs experience on Kickstarter. And that is that you don't have to be successful with your first campaign. I know it's really scary. It's actually extremely frightening. The idea of launching a campaign and all of your friends, all of your coworkers, all of your fans or people that are following you online, seeing that this campaign is unsuccessful, that's scary. Like, what happens if you don't hit your goal? What happens if you only hit a fraction of your goal? Your goal is, say, $20,000 and you raise like $5,000. That's really embarrassing. It's kind of humiliating. It's scary to even think of that concept. Like, how are people gonna view you? Will it hurt your brand in any way? These are common emotions that people feel about launching Kickstarter campaigns. But I'm willing to share something here that many entrepreneurs, if you have done any kind of successful products or you've launched anything successful as an entrepreneur, you've likely experienced. And that is, it doesn't matter how many times you get something wrong. In school, yeah, it matters if you get something wrong on the test. But in the entrepreneurial realm, in marketing, in even the marketplace, like economies in general, it doesn't matter how many times you fail. I know that's very cliche. It doesn't matter how many times you fail. The only thing that matters is that one time you get it right. And then you're an overnight success. This is actually very, very true, and here's why. I've had multiple people come on the podcast and say, yeah, actually, when I launched my first campaign, it didn't go too well. And I'll actually link to one of these episodes where the founder, the first time around, no marketing, no plan, it didn't go as they wanted. Second time around, they learned a lot more. They learned how to advertise on Facebook. They learned how to actually get the word out, and then they were successful. And the first campaign didn't hurt their brand at all. In fact, many of the people who backed their first campaign transitioned over to the second, and they were happy to see that this person got their stuff together, they had a great plan this time, and they did launch, and they were successful. So it's actually very different than you might imagine. Don't be afraid that because your first campaign or even your second campaign is not successful, that you can't keep launching these campaigns. You can keep launching them. Obviously, you need a great product. You need a product that resonates, or you need a project that in some way does have an audience, but you can launch these for as many times as you'd like, and you have to be willing to bear that emotional brunt of people saying, ha, like that guy didn't raise money, or like, ha, that was a stupid idea. Who cares? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it does not matter. Even one of the most famous campaigns out there, the Coolest Cooler, actually failed their first time around. They relaunched, and now they're a multi-million-dollar success. And yeah, at the time I'm filming this, they are having some, fulfillment issues, but at the time, if you're looking at the fundraise, they were very successful in turning everything around, launching a second successful campaign. So don't think you have to be successful the first time around. The third and last misconception that I would like to mention on this YouTube video, and keep in mind that these are just misconceptions that I've had from communicating with my readers. I'm sure that there are many other ones out there. I'm sure that the person listening to this video would actually love it if you could leave a comment and let me know any kind of worries or fears that you have or questions that you have. But the third misconception about Kickstarter, and I think this is actually very deeply rooted, is that there is something out there where you can just get free money on Kickstarter and that's it. This is very similar to tech fundraising. You celebrate the fundraise. This guy raised $2 million from venture capitalists. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, what does he have to do now? That money comes with obligations. So now that he has raised $2 million, the VC firm is expecting a 10 times exit. They're expecting that person to either sell their company or go public, and sell it likely for $20 million if the valuation is $2 million, or if the valuation is larger, 10 times that. So there's actually a really, really big set of expectations that come with not just raising money as a tech startup through venture capital or angel investment, but also on Kickstarter. Once you raise all this money, you have the obligation to make good on all of your promises. You've promised these people these perks or these rewards. You now have to ship out all of those perks or rewards to your backers. And that's a scary concept. That's a lot of shipping, that's a lot of fulfillment, that's a lot of coordination. If you have any add-ons or stretch goals, that's adding all of that in. And there are actually some entrepreneurs that I've spoken with who, after the Kickstarter campaign is done, they've shipped out all of their rewards, they unfortunately ended up owing money after the campaign because they didn't correctly calculate their costs. That's the worst position to be in. That no one wants to be in that position. You have a successful campaign, but you end up owing money. So you have to understand that accepting money, both with Kickstarter or a VC firm or whatever, comes with certain obligations, and to understand that likely actually fulfilling these obligations and shipping out all of these rewards is going to be more headache and it's going to be more stressful than actually running the actual campaign. And that's actually that's something that not many people realize. Specifically new entrepreneurs or first-time Kickstarter entrepreneurs, that you do have to ship out all these rewards. So that's something I really wanted to nail down and make clear with this video. But if you did find this video to be helpful, if any of these are what? I thought that, hey, that's not how it works. I would love it if you could give me a thumbs up on this YouTube video so that other people that come to this video or my channel realize that it is helpful and it's worth investing that time. I do have a little bit longer videos, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. So to know that this content is helpful, I think helps people to actually, get a cup of coffee and actually watch the entire thing rather than just skimming over and be like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So I would appreciate a thumbs up on this video, and also come subscribe to this channel if you want more videos like this. I'm always fishing for new topics on these videos, so be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what you'd like to learn about. Let me know any questions that you have. But without further ado, my name is Salvador Brigman. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.